People thought it was just corrupted footage till the timestamps started matching, and when the building owner recognized the man in the video, everything changed. He had been dead for 21 years. In 2019, a maintenance technician named Paul Reeves was digitizing old security tapes from a commercial building in Ohio. This was his job, transferring decades of analog footage onto modern hard drives. It was tedious, boring work, mostly consisting of fast-forwarding through empty hallways and silent parking lots. But one night, while reviewing a random tape from 2004, something caught his eye. At exactly 2:43 a.m., a man was standing at the end of a long, dimly lit corridor. He was completely still, almost like a statue. Paul didn't think much of it at first. Maybe a security guard or someone working late. He made a note and moved on to the next tape. This one from 2005, as the footage played, he saw the same corridor. Then, the timestamp hit to 43 a.m. The man was there again, in the exact same spot, wearing the same clothes, staring blankly down the hall. Paul's first thought was a glitch. The old VCR must be looping a fragment of the previous tape. It was a common issue with old analog hardware. But then he remembered something that made his blood run cold. He checked the building's maintenance logs. The camera in that hallway had been completely replaced in early 2005. It was a different model, with a different lens, connected to a different recording system. The footage couldn't possibly be a loop. It was a new recording of the same impossible event. Paul felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He kept watching. He had a feeling it was about to get much worse. Over the next few weeks, Paul became obsessed. He sifted through hundreds of tapes from different storage boxes, some of which had been gathering dust for over a decade. He found the man again and again. It wasn't just in that one building in Ohio. He discovered the same silent figure on tapes from 9 different properties, some in neighboring states like Indiana and Pennsylvania. Each time, the circumstances were identical. Recorded at precisely 2:43 a.m., the man stood motionless, a silent sentinel in an empty building. Paul knew he couldn't keep this to himself. He went to his boss, laid out the tapes, and showed him the synchronized appearances. His boss just laughed. He waved it off, saying, "It's probably just a technician testing the cameras, or some prankster messing with you." He told Paul to get back to work and stop wasting time on ghost stories. Dejected, Paul went back to his desk, the grainy image of the man still burning on his monitor. Just then, one of the overnight security guards was walking past on his patrol. He glanced at Paul's screen, stopped dead in his tracks, and his face went pale. He leaned in closer, his eyes wide with disbelief. In a shaky whisper, he said, "I know that guy." The security guard's words hung in the air. He explained that the man on the screen was Daniel Hott, an accountant who had worked in that very building years ago. According to company records, Daniel had died of a sudden heart attack right there in his office back in 1998. He was only 42. His death was tragic, but straightforward. There was no controversy, no mystery, just a sad, untimely end. Or so everyone thought. Paul's mind was racing. He pulled out the logs for all the footage. One of the tapes showing the mysterious figure was recorded in 2014. That was 16 years after Daniel Hart was officially declared dead. It made no sense. Paul frantically dug through old employee files, searching for any logical explanation. Did Daniel have a twin brother? No. Did he have any sons or relatives who looked just like him? None that matched. He cross-referenced the dates with building security logs. There were no records of an intruder, no maintenance calls, no actors ever hired for drills. It couldn't be a prank. The man in the videos was a perfect match for Daniel's old employee ID photo. The same tired expression, the same slightly stooped posture, the same height and build. He was identical in every single recording, across years and across miles. It was like his image had been copied and pasted through time. The mystery deepened and spread far beyond Paul's office in Ohio. His boss, now intrigued and a little spooked, shared the story with a few colleagues in the data management industry. Soon, a data recovery company in Texas, which handled security archives for clients all over the country, heard about it. Out of curiosity, their technicians ran a search on their own massive databases. They found him. The same man, in tapes that Paul Reeves had never seen, from buildings he didn't even know existed. The floodgates opened. A mall in Illinois reported a sighting in their archives. A hospital in Virginia found him in their overnight footage. A storage facility in Colorado, a corporate office in California. The count kept rising. In total, 37 confirmed appearances, spanning from 2004 to as recent as 2018. Every sighting shared the same chilling characteristics. The man always appeared between 2:43 and 2:47 a.m. He was always standing perfectly still. There was never any footage of him entering the area, and never any footage of him leaving. He would simply be there in one frame, and gone in the next. Not walking, not fading. Just there, and then not. He was just standing, watching, waiting. As the story circulated quietly among security professionals, a journalist managed to track down a former co-worker of Daniel Hart. The man agreed to speak, but only if he could remain anonymous. He remembered Daniel not as a ghost, but as a quiet, peculiar man. He said Daniel was always talking about how time felt wrong at night in the office building. He'd complain that certain hallways felt out of sync with the rest of the world, like walking through water. The co-worker even recalled Daniel saying something that, at the time, everyone had dismissed as a morbid joke. One afternoon, Daniel looked around the office and said, with a dead serious expression, "If I die, I'm not leaving this building." His colleagues all laughed, but Daniel didn't. He just stared out the window, as if looking at something they couldn't see. So, what is the explanation? Skeptics and video experts have proposed several theories. They point to motion interpolation errors in digital video, a phenomenon where software creates ghost images between frames. Others suggest analog tape contamination, where a faint image from one part of a tape can be magnetically imprinted onto another. Some even blame simple time stump corruption, arguing that the clocks on the recorders were all faulty in the exact same way. But there is one detail they can't explain. One piece of footage that defies all logic. In a clip from a warehouse in 2009, retrieved from a high-definition digital system, the impossible happens. For a few seconds, the figure of Daniel Hart is as still as ever. Then, slowly, unnaturally, he turns his head. It's not a glitch. It's not a compression artifact. He turns his head and looks directly into the camera, and then he smiles. So who or what is appearing on these tapes? Is it a complex data anomaly? A ghost in the machine that has replicated itself across dozens of unrelated systems? Is it a critical security flaw we don't yet understand? Or is it truly a copied fragment of a dead man's life? An echo trapped in the digital and analog worlds? Perhaps it's something else entirely, something that exists outside the timeline we think we know. Whatever the truth is, one thing is for sure. At 2:43 a.m., you might not want to check your security cameras. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as unsettling as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss our next dive into the unknown.